Today we're finally getting around to doing some of these little jobs, and I'm just trying to make this look worse before it looks better, hopefully. So we've got some of the vinyl that we're going to put on the side, which is slightly out on the colour. What I'm just doing down here is testing whether, because obviously we've got an edge here that's going to have nothing on, where I'm making sure that any loose bits I've got free, because obviously it's just going to start flapping around if I go over any loose areas. But it obviously leaves me then an edge that hasn't had anything on there. So I've done a little test section here just to see whether I can actually see, or whether I need to now fill in this area. In actual fact, because of the thickness of the vinyl, I'm not getting a line of where there's no material. So I think we're okay. So what I'm going to do is just clear off, as I say, all of the bits that aren't sticking. So any loose bits, we're going to need to clean that back off, and then we can cut our panel and try and slide this in there. This is a bit of a nightmare because we've got the door fly screen in the way, so this is going to be a pain to sort of try and get in here. So any bits of old material we need to clear off. This has got some hooks in that I've removed, and then I've just used the screwdriver to flatten these areas back in and just get as flat as possible. I do a colour crayon for wood and material that you can actually fill any deep holes or scratches or anything if it's really bad, but hopefully they're flat enough to be able to go over. Just removing any residue that again might just leave any marks visible when we put the new stuff on. And it's just, as I say, a good clean up of all these edges and remove. If you've got any sockets, any switches, anything like that, obviously we're going to need to remove all of that sort of a thing. And then we'll probably cut around the very bottom. Now, I wasn't brave enough to go a completely different colour. I'd sort of been asking and wondering whether we should do all of the cupboards, and in all honesty we just haven't really got time to do a full job like that. So what we're just going to do is make it so that it's as best as possible and get it back on sale so that we spend the least amount of time, which I know is a bit of a cop-out, but I just don't really think we've got enough time to go through and do a full renovation. But if you're thinking about doing a renovation, hopefully this is going to give you an idea of what to do, how to do it, or maybe even what not to do. You never know, it might be just what not to do. But this is going to be the basics of sort of making sure that the material is going to stick. 3M do a little glue that you can go around the edges with, so I'm going to test it first, just make sure that it is all sticking, and then if we need to do any, if we do find that any of the edges don't look great or aren't quite right, we can get the little solution that 3M do, and it's more what they use when they wrap a car, and they'll put it on the very edges of the wrap just to really glue it down into position. I suppose it's a bit like a super glue or something like that. So I'm going to get it on and then figure out whether we need that or not. But hopefully it's good enough, and then we've got a clean enough edge to make a nice sort of finish on there, and it's going to stick properly. Panel is too big, so we're going to have to cut this down. Unfortunately, we've got lines on the back of this that'll sort of just give us an idea. So what I'm going to do is just get it roughly to the length. Sharp knife is definitely a must. It's going to make your life a lot easier. Pop that extra bit now out of the way. Not to ruin it. To get a start point, which I think is going to be up the top here. Just get it roughly into position at the minute. So we've got a start point now that we can then sort of work from and around, and that gives you an idea of how it's going to start actually looking. Hopefully I'm going to start peeling this back, start working it down and start just trying to get it correct. Again, try and hold it back a bit and then try and work it down. Now trying to just get all the little bits worked in. Is that my better knife or not? No, again, a sharp knife makes a big difference. I'm just going to try and follow this line down.
Like a light, lighting up in the dark. You make it right, I forgot how to act. It's so classic. Every time you make me nervous and I lose my words. It's been a while since I forgot the most simple words. I feel calm when you're around, like nothing can break me.
So now I'm trying to just tidy everything up basically. So I'm going over all the little edges, just trying to make sure everything all matches in and ties in as best as we possibly can. So if you're looking for what we've done, you'll probably see it. You'll probably know that it's had a piece in. But that you have literally got to look for it. It's not going to be, you're going to walk inside the caravan and think, oh my gosh, what on earth have they done? So hopefully that's the plan anyway. Whether or not that's the reality, but that's obviously how you want to try and get it, is that it looks as original as possible. So it is just spending a bit of time then going over all the little areas, making sure that everything is stuck, everywhere is in position as best as possible. And yeah, it's not a bad job to do really. It is just taking that time. This is a difficult area because we're trying to we've got some funny shapes that we've had to get into, which is going to be the same with pretty much every caravan you're going to come across somewhere. But I don't think it looks horrendous, and I think it's just made, obviously that looks a hell of a lot better than having all of this. So I'm going to do this last little panel and then look how it happens, or how it looks after that. I definitely don't think we're going to do all of the cupboards. I think we're going to probably leave it at that. I think it's a lot nicer state than what it was in. We can then get this finished up, cleaned up, get it on sale. And there's nothing, because you're walking through the door now, there's nothing that sort of you look at and you go, oh my gosh, that looks disgusting or horrendous. We've not gone over the top, we've made it look decent. And yeah, hopefully if you're thinking about doing this, or you've got something similar in your caravan and you just want to try and make it look better, we got that off Amazon. I think you can buy it off eBay, you can buy it off different hobby shops, do it as well. So it's just a fablon, effectively. So just a they call it design foil. So it's just a wood finished vinyl basically. As I say, they do 3M do an edge glue. So if you find that it's starting to peel up or anything on the sides once you've done it, you can go all down the edges. Once it's cut like that, you can normally peel it back and then glue the edge if needs be. I'll see whether that needs doing or not, and we can judge that from there. But on this next panel, I'll put it on time lapse just so that you can see it. But I'll just clean up any edges that need cleaning up. Take off this socket, put it into place, and that'll be it done. Get this on sale, get it cleaned up then. There's a couple of little bits that we can just glue backing of the original. We're not going to redo those areas, so we'll go and just glue any bits that we can. But obviously where it's like that, we can't sell it and let it go out like that. So hopefully you've found it informative. If you've got any areas that you need to do, hopefully it'll help you, and just have a go. Even if it's looking like that, you can't make it look any worse. If you put it on and it looks terrible, take it back off and have another go. But it's definitely something that you can do yourself, and hopefully it looks better if you've got something like that. Thanks for watching. I'm Mark at the Caravan Place.
Now I know why it never worked out before. Hello, it would always turn out bad, so bad. But every time we start a fight, we always stop in time. We both know how to be gentle, never cross the line.
So that is the complete done, sorted. Looks a hell of a lot better than it did previously. It just takes your eye off it when it comes in. We're not going to do the other cabinets, we're just going to do that little area. We've managed to do that sort of within half an hour.